Hi, it's Mike Vanetis. Greetings to all you long-haired freaky people. Yeah, I don't know about you, I need a haircut. Maybe you can't tell, but it's only because I have like 40 bucks worth of hair product holding things down. Otherwise, I'd look like Carrot Top. Anyways, today we're going to talk about how to handle the objection. It's not really an objection, it's more of a stall tactic, as you'll learn in a moment, but let's just call it an objection. When somebody says, we're just going to hold off. Yeah, you're probably getting a lot of that these days, people holding off because of uncertainty going on in the world. But we're going to talk about, does that really make sense for everybody? It doesn't. I'll just cut to the chase. There's still lots of people where it makes perfect sense for them to own a home right now. And how do we get to those people? So first thing is that we're going to focus on the people that have already been out to your community, that have already been in the pipeline, people... not so much who new prospects who are walking in the door, because they probably already are in that place where they know now is a good time to buy. So we're talking about the people who are maybe hot before, put things on hold, how to re-engage them, get them back in the door. So the first thing is that, like I said, you got to get them back in the door. And whether that's a virtual door, if that's what they want to do, or it's literally means that they're coming back out, you need to have that engagement with them. And so if you call or text somebody, the first thing is you got to have a reason, right? And so hopefully you can find some reasons to get people out to the community. But the first rule is when you leave a voicemail for them or text them, don't tell them what the reason is. Like, don't call and be like, hey, just want to let you know we've got $5,000 worth of free appliances that we're giving away right now. Why would they call you if you just told them why you were calling? They won't. And so your message to them, I'm gonna do a little role playing here, but it should be something like this, okay? First of all, you wanna come off as being busy, successful, that sort of thing. So I would do something like this. Hey Mary, it's Mike with ABC Builders. Hey, listen, I just had only have a minute to talk, but I wanna see if you are available to come out either this Tuesday morning, I have some opening, or Wednesday, and I've got some exciting things that you may want to hear. But anyways, give me a call. Let's hopefully set something up. Thanks. And then you wait for them to call. And if they don't call you back, you call them back. And you can I've done this in the past where you just, from there on, then on out, you say, give me a call back. If I don't hear from you by, say, like tomorrow at noon, I'll just plan on giving you a call back. I'm sure you're busy, that sort of thing. And so I'll just plan on reconnecting with you if I don't hear from you. You do this because then they'll call you, have a better chance of them calling you, because they're like, well, she's just gonna keep on calling until I answer the phone or call her back, so I might as well just call back now. So that's the first part. Don't tell them what you're gonna offer or why you're calling, and then when they do call, don't even tell them what exciting promotion or whatever you have, even on the phone if you don't have to. I would say something like, as I mentioned, we've got some really awesome things happening here, and I want to see if Tuesday morning or Wednesday is better. Would one of those days work better for you to come on out? And the reason what I just did there is, one, it was kind of like a choice close, right? Like, would Tuesday or Wednesday work better? So that's the choice close. Two, it was an assumptive close. I'm not saying, do you guys want to come out? Do you guys feel safe coming out? No, just assume that things are back to normal and everybody's buying again, and so things are so busy. I want to know if Tuesday or Wednesday is going to work out. Everything else is booked up. That's kind of how it's going to seem. And so go about that route, because if they do object, if they're not ready because of any number of reasons, that's when they'll tell you, oh yeah, you know what, Mike, we decided to hold off. Okay, now at this point, now you still haven't uncovered the objection. That's just a stall. Saying we're holding off, that tells you nothing. You have nothing to work with. You're not just gonna be like, oh well, I'll call you in a year when this global pandemic has been eradicated. You want to start digging deeper, and so you're going to handle the objection. First acknowledge it or listen to it, right? And then what you want to do is you want to, what I call, sweeping them off their feet verbally. And so what I mean by that is when somebody gives you an objection, when a customer gives you an objection, although they're hoping that if they say we're going to hold off, you're just going to be like, okay, I'll call you in a year. But what they're expecting you to do is say, well, hold on, let me tell you why that's a really bad idea. So they're expecting you to do something like that, and so they put up their guard. They've already made their mind up, and now no one's going to change their mind, and so they put that guard up. So the first thing you have to do is get that guard back down. And the way we get their guard down is we say something that piques their curiosity, that surprises them, and we say something like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you brought that up. Or, I am not surprised to hear you say that. Or, oh, thank you for sharing that with me. Something that's going to get them to be like, why, I just told them I'm not buying. Why are they excited to hear that or whatever? Then you go into the next step, which is to dig deeper and be like, let me ask you, what is it, that you feel the need to hold off on? Is, what specifically is causing you to feel that way? They may tell you at that point, they may say, well, I just lost my job, or they may say, I'm fearful of losing my job, or whatever they're going to say, or they may just say, yeah, well, I mean, just with all this craziness going on, we just feel like we need to hold off. And then you thank them, and then, but we have to still find out what that objection is, right? So try this. Say, you know what, I appreciate you sharing that with me. Let me ask you, so even though things have really been turning around last week and this week, and people are coming back out to buy homes, I hear what you're saying, and I'm just curious because prior to this last week, seemed like people fall into one of three categories. Either A, this whole thing hasn't affected them at all. In fact, they're probably even busier. They're an essential worker, they're a nurse or whatever, and they're like working their tails off, making lots of money, all that stuff. B, they're in a category where they still have their job, they're just a little fearful, a little uncertainty going on, they're working from home, they're miserable, whatever, but things are still okay. Or C, they're in a category where things are bad. They've lost their job and things are really looking bad for them. Mr. Customer, would you mind sharing which of those categories would you say you fall into? Now, if they say the last category where they lost their job, well, that's horrible, and at least though that they don't have the ability to buy a home at this point, and so you can respond accordingly. The first two groups, though, those are viable prospects still, right? And so you want to find out if they say, well, no, I'm working my tail off, making lots of money. Then you go back into the assumptive thing and say, like, well, great. Well, it sounds like now's a great time to buy for you. Tuesday or Wednesday. If they say, oh, well, no, but we're still going to hold off. Well, then what specifically is it that is causing you to hold off? It sounds like financially it's not an issue. Like interest rates are super low. Prices are, expected to go back up once this whole coronavirus thing is over, and rates are supposed to go up and all this stuff. Like, what's the reason that you're holding off? And get them to tell you. And we're not going to go through how to handle specific objections, but this is the thing that you need to do. You need to just keep on drilling down until you get them to say what the real concern is. It could be that they're afraid that they're going to lose their job. It could be that they're afraid that once they buy a home, the housing market is going to crash and the value of their home is going to go down. It could be any number of things. But the point is that that's when the real selling starts, and you can't do your job as a salesperson unless you uncover what their pain points or the problem or concern is, and that's when you start selling. We'll have another video, and if you could, leave a comment saying what specific objections that you are hearing, and I'm going to do another video probably next week where we handle specific objections and how to handle those specific objections. In the meantime, go get them. Hope you sell a bunch of homes this week.